My First Communion, presented by Ingrid Daniela Tose Delgado, presented to Astrid Yanira Lemus, course Intermediate English 2, Open and Distance National University, UNAD, October 2017. My First Communion. A few years ago, my mother decided to make my first communion. My parents wanted to celebrate with a party, but to me the thrill of the holidays did not attract my attention. I did not like the disorder that there are the next day. But because to be a kid, my parents won and did celebrate the first communion with a party. My first communion began with a mass at 10 a.m. in the church of the Sanctuary of Lajas in the municipality of Timbio. Attended many people. After mass, my parents and the closest relatives went to my uncle's house to decorate it for the party that was at night. The party was at my uncle Abelardo's house. Since my uncle's house is very large and has more space than mine, at 7 p.m. began to arrive the guests to the party. Attended my family, my friends, friends of my parents, my school friends, and of course my teachers. In the beginning, I was very bored in the party because most guests were adults and I had to be receiving gifts and inviting to the table to take dinner. For the reason I could not even go out to play, but as at 8:30 p.m. my cousins and my school friends arrived and my parents let me go to play. I felt happy because in the case of my cousins there were many who I had not seen in years. I introduced my cousins to my schoolmates, and while the guests danced and ate, my cousins, my friends and I played in the yard of the house. Then I had to return to the party to take me photos with the guests, something that I think very boring because I do not like to be taken photos. At 9:30 p.m. I decided to speak with my parents to check my first communion dress because it was very uncomfortable to play. My parents allowed me to change my dress for more comfortable clothes. I remember much that I received many gifts. There were many people that I didn't know, but nevertheless they brought me the gifts. Maybe they were friends of my parents. At midnight, after playing so much, I get tired and I decided to go to sleep at my house with two cousins, Jessica and Maritza. When we arrived at my house, in the living room were all the gifts that had given me. There were many and my cousins told me to open to see that I had been given. I was afraid because my parents were strict, but at the insistence of my cousins we began to open them. There were beautiful gifts. They had given me lamps, stuffed animals, jewelry, clothes, perfumes, makeup, money, among others. We were opening the gifts when my parents arrived. I thought they were going to scold me for not asking for their authorization, but it was not like that. They started to see that I had been given. After seeing the gifts, I went to sleep because I was very tired. I had a very busy day. The next day, I got up about 9 in the morning. I went to the living room and there were new gifts, but I did not open them because I was very hungry. My grandmother was preparing my breakfast. Since my parents were not there, they had stayed to attend the guests and celebrate at the party. I did not want to go to my uncle's house because I knew there was disorder and drunks, as well that I stayed to play in my house with my cousin. Around 10 a.m. my parents came to the house. They were drunk and tired. For that reason I went with my cousins to the soccer field to play. The day was very boring because most were sleeping. We played soccer until 12 p.m. From there we went to lunch at my grandmother's house to not disturb my parents. After going to lunch we went to ride a bike with my cousins and my aunt Mary. At 4 p.m. we returned to the house because my cousins had to go to their respective house. In the end the party was not a bad idea because I was able to see my cousins again.